Hey, greetings. Coach Moore here is God's Huckleberry again to provide some inspiration and guideposts along the journey from where we are to where we need to be. This podcast will share my life experiences, insights gained, and lesson learned, all while demonstrating where God's providence is interwoven through everyday life. Today's podcast is The Journey's End. You know, many people don't like funerals. I'm the opposite in that I make every effort to attend a funeral when I hear of someone close to me passing away. Although, yes, I can struggle with the mourning and the sadness, I welcome the opportunity to attend and be present. You know, it's a celebration of a life that in some way touched mine. It's also a sign of respect to that person who has passed, as well as their family. There's a line from the movie Avengers Endgame. It's said by Tony Stark, also known as Iron Man, where he says, "Part of the journey is the end." I could find no other reference to that line anywhere in a Google search. So I give Tony Stark and the writers for that movie all the credit. You know, Michael J. Fox of Back to the Future, while reflecting on his current state with Parkinson's disease, said, "You know, the last thing we run out of in life is the future." And to paraphrase a favorite quote of mine by Father Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, we're not physical beings having spiritual journeys. We're spiritual beings having physical journeys. And our physical journeys are finite. They will expire. But think about it. When a river arrives at the sea, that river's journey has ended. But the essence of what that river was continues and becomes part of something bigger. So the journey of our spirit does not end here on this earth, but continues onward. So our divine journey has no end. It has a goal. Henry Nouwen, a Dutch priest and a very influential spiritual writer of our generation, says, "Death is not the enemy who puts an end to everything, but the friend who takes us by the hand and leads us into the kingdom of eternal love." I enjoy watching sunsets. Sunsets are sacred. They're one of God's most underrated miracles that has become just another one of nature's routines that I don't think enough people notice. But sunsets are proof that endings can be beautiful. You know, having endured the rigors of the day, a sunset is a peaceful and impressive in its beauty way to kind of bring the day to a close. And even after that sunset has disappeared, it continues to impart an afterglow, an aura of warmness. You know, the loss of family and friends is an ending much like a sunset. A recent sunset had me reflecting on the passing of several close friends over the last 6 months. So it's gotten to the point where it's almost impossible to watch a sunset, not reflect on the day that I've had, or in this case, the life that I've come to know and be connected with. A sunset closes out the day, much the way their lives have been closed out. But again, there can be that lasting impact, that afterglow, the warmthness of their memory. The beauty of the vision that you see with a sunset is reflected in those friends and family, leaving an imprint on my heart. George Martin is quoted as saying, "When the sun has set, no candle can replace it." And I agree, no number of candles can directly replace the brightness and the warmth of the sun. Same way that family and friends will never be able to directly replace a lost one. Some things in life are unique and special. However, candles do provide enough to move forward, as will those that are still around the people affected by the death of a loved one. Also reflected on the fact that my sunset is someone else's sunrise. The sunset that I get to watch over the James River here in Virginia is a sunrise over the Chao Phraya River for someone in Bangkok, Thailand. So what is an ending for some is just a beginning for others. And because I believe in the resurrection of the body and life everlasting, I will trust and pray that my friends and family's sunsets will also be sunrises and a new beginning, where death is transitional, a sunset to a sunrise, a human experience to a spiritual being. In many ways, a sunset is not the end, but the beginning. So in the Bible, the natural or civil day begins at sunrise, while the holy day begins at sunset and lasts from evening to evening. This is reflected in Leviticus chapter 23, verse 32. In this way, sunsets pivot us from this natural peace to an element of grace. Also in Leviticus chapter 22, we read, "When the sun sets, he shall be clean. Only then may he eat of the sacred offerings, for they are his food." So again, purification and cleansing of our souls is associated with sunsetting. So the question I ask myself, and I think we need to ask ourselves, is, am I living so that my sunset will become a sunrise in his kingdom? In a 2011 speech, Queen Elizabeth quoted an Aboriginal proverb: "We are all visitors to this time, this place. We're just passing through. Our purpose here is to observe, to learn, to grow, to love, and then we return home." So again, we're passing through this life. We have no permanency in this world. So we're on a journey towards that last station of our run. And in the end, the rewards of our temporal lives will add up to nothing. Our treasure cannot be reached here. Our ultimate goal is beyond this life. And when this life is over, God's going to ask us, did we fill it as best we could? I mean, he created the heavens, the earth. He saturated it with beauty and love for us. Did we enjoy each breath, each moment, every glimpse, every touch of another's hand or of our heart? Did we love our neighbor? It will be the quality of our days that matter, not the quantity. In James chapter 4, verse 14, we read that our life is like a puff of smoke that appears briefly and then disappears. We're here a little while, then we're gone, and we don't get to be here that long. So death should come as a welcomed guest, welcomed and long prepared for by the way in which we live and love every day. And a downside of living a long life is being witness repeatedly to the reality of somebody else's arriving at their final stop, at their sunset. You know, those that have joined our journey and touched us along the way, they're going to leave. It's going to create a void. But that empty seat on our train of our journey should leave behind beautiful memories for those of us who will continue on with our journey. At a recent funeral, I heard the parable of the 10 virgins from Matthew's Gospel, which is chapter 25, verse 10. And it says, "While they went off to buy it, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went into the wedding feast with him, and then the door was locked." And when I heard this at a funeral, it reminded me of my dad, whose door was locked on him when he was just 57 years old. So at the time of our death, the door is going to be shut and locked on this life. What side of the door will we be on? So in closing, let us remember that our physical being is going to pass away, but our spiritual being will live on. Let's embrace funerals as we do sunsets, knowing that they lead to sunrises. Let's acknowledge that we are all just passing through, and therefore be sure we are doing our part and trust we will set the world on fire while we are here. Let's answer the call. Let's leave a legacy and make a difference in his kingdom. Rejoice and Godspeed.